In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 sites in Rome that I think are probably a little bit overhyped. They may not be overhyped, but they're certainly overcrowded. And then I'm going to share with you 3 sites that don't get enough attention. Actually, there are sites in Rome that a lot of people miss. These are 3 of my favorites. Let's get started. The third most overrated site in Rome, in my opinion, is a site that a lot of people don't even know about. And you might be wondering, well, if nobody knows about it, how can it be overrated? And let me explain. The site, first of all, it is called the Keyhole. And what it is, it's actually a keyhole in a door. It's a skeleton key. You look through it and it lines up perfectly with the Vatican. So people get up there and they want to look through it. That's great. And then you take a picture. It's kind of interesting. You take a picture of it and see the Vatican Duomo through the keyhole. Really kind of cool. At least that's what I thought. So I went up there one evening to get in line, and there was probably 75, 80 people in front of me. I stood there for 20, 30 minutes. The line hardly moved at all, and I realized every person's taking 1 to 2 minutes at that keyhole. So if there's 100 people in front of you, you're looking at a 2-hour wait. And I gave up. So to date, I've actually never seen the keyhole. I've been there 4, 5, 6 times. And the good thing is, if you're in the area of the keyhole, right around the corner, there's a really cool garden with an overlook of Rome. It's called the Garden of the Oranges. And a lot of times in the evenings, there's street performers there playing music. Great atmosphere, great place to catch a sunset. So when you go catch a sunset, maybe you'll get lucky and see the keyhole and not have a line there. Probably you won't, and you probably will have to wait in line if that's what you want to do. It wasn't for me, but that's why I call it overrated, because those that do know about it have created a bottleneck of people wanting to do that. And yeah, I haven't seen it. So if you've had the opportunity to look through the keyhole, let me know. Was it worth your time when you went to Rome to stand in that line? Maybe it was. Also, if you're wondering where that keyhole is, it is located very close to Circus Maximus, just maybe a 5 to 10 minute walk from there. Circus Maximus can be reached from the B line on the metro, not far from the Colosseum. So you exit there, and from the station is less than 10 minutes and you could be at the keyhole. And on to my number 2 most overrated site of Rome. The second most overhyped, over-touristed, and certainly most overcrowded site in Rome is Trevi Fountain. I'm not saying don't visit Trevi Fountain. In fact, you certainly should visit Trevi Fountain. It is the most famous fountain in the world, and it's beautiful. But I guess I'm just always surprised at the amount of people that are actually there. I don't think anybody makes it to Rome, even on their first visit, and at one point or another does not stop by Trevi Fountain. Maybe because it's free, maybe because there's no lines, and that's a good thing, but I'm always surprised at the crowd. Sometimes you get there and there are literally 5,000, 10,000, maybe more than that, people in that square. I've been there even at 3 in the morning. One time I couldn't sleep, I got there around 3, and there was still a crowd at Trevi Fountain. No, there wasn't a huge crowd, but there was probably 100 people out there, similar to me, woke up for whatever reason and thought they'd make their way to Trevi Fountain and take in that. And trust me, that was kind of a cool experience. But I've also been there when all you could do is bump into people. It's so crowded, you're just kind of going, okay, get a glimpse of Trevi Fountain, throw the coin in over your shoulder, and then head out of there because the crowd is so thick, you just, have to get out of there. So I guess that's why I put it as the number 2 most overhyped site in Rome, just because of the crowds. I don't know it's overhyped so much as it is overcrowded. I think that's my biggest problem with Trevi Fountain. Most of the time it's just overcrowded. My number 1 most overrated site in Rome is also the number 1 site for many people in Rome. It's just not for everybody. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Vatican Museum. Yes, the Vatican Museum. I think it's a terrific place for those that love museums, that really appreciate the art and the statues. You get to see the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo, painted the ceiling there. It's really awe-inspiring. It really is. At the same time, when I was at the Vatican Museum, there was so many statues and so much art. I really didn't understand what I was looking at. I didn't have a guide, and I just didn't appreciate it. I just felt crowded. And so if you're somebody who doesn't really love museums or appreciate it or understand what you're seeing, you probably aren't going to really enjoy the museum as much as you might think. In my opinion, unless you're a museum lover, there are probably other things you can do in Rome that you're going to enjoy more. But for those that love that kind of stuff, it's actually a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see a museum this large, this rich with art and statues and all kinds of stuff to look at. Don't miss it if you're a museum lover. Skip it if you're not. Next, I'm going to share with you 3 sites in Rome that I feel are probably underloved, underappreciated, and certainly undervisited. A quick interruption to tell you about our new travel guide called Rome Travel Guida. Yes, we have a travel guide. Check it out in the description. In brief, I want to tell you it's got tons of information that will help you as you plan your trip to Rome. It also includes a PDF. It's a booklet over 65 pages that you can download. So much information to help you have a great time in Rome. Check it out. There's a discount code in the description. And back to the video. My number 3 most underrated, undervisited, underappreciated site in Rome is the Tiber River. The Tiber River runs through Rome and it divides the Trastevere area and the Vatican from the other historical area of Rome. But many people know of the Tiber River, but very few actually go down to the Tiber. If you go down to the Tiber River, there's bridges along the way that have steps that head down to the Tiber, and down there you're going to find a nice bike path, walking path, jogging path that you can just kind of escape the noise and the hustle and the bustle of the city above. It's very peaceful walking along the river's banks. It's got a lot of history, and it's just a real nice escape. So when you're in Rome, take a few minutes to walk down to the Tiber River. Not even that many Romans make it down there, believe it or not. Every time I go down to the Tiber, my wife just loves it down there. And every time we go down there, I'm always surprised at how few people are actually down on the Tiber. Even in peak season, when the streets are filled with people walking around, there's very few people along the Tiber. And it's such a great escape. It's beautiful, and it really shouldn't be missed. So my advice to you is take advantage of the Tiber River when you get kind of worn out. You just want a little bit of escape from everything, and I really think you will enjoy it. My number 2 most underappreciated, undervisited site in Rome is the Aqueduct Park. Now the Aqueduct Park, you're familiar with the aqueducts. That's what carried all the water to Rome. In fact, there was more water being brought into Rome via the aqueducts back in that day per capita than there is today. The aqueducts are what made Rome so great. Imagine 2,000 years ago having running water in your city. It's quite incredible. And out there at Aqueduct Park, there's still some remaining aqueducts, some of them maybe a half a mile long, a kilometer long or so. And you can walk right up next to them. You can go, just walk around there. There's lots of nice shade trees to sit under and just kind of enjoy the atmosphere. It's really neat. I suggest you bring a sack lunch out there. The best time to visit Aqueduct Park is probably in the morning, early, or even better in the evening. Catch a sunset out there. It's just super relaxing. And the greatest thing, it's super accessible. People don't realize this, but all you have to do to get out there is hop on the metro, get on line A, heading towards Anagnina, and then you hop off on the station Subaugusta. And from that station, it's just a 5 or 10 minute walk, and you'll be at Aqueduct Park. And from there, you can just kind of explore the aqueducts at your pace. So my suggestion to you is don't miss the Aqueduct Park when you're in Rome. It's incredible. It's free, it's relaxing, it's inspiring, it's everything else you can think of. Just don't miss the Aqueduct Park. It is truly incredible. My number one most underappreciated, undervisited site in Rome is Via Appia Antica. Via Appia Antica is a special road. It is the oldest surviving road in the world. There are still some of the original pavers that were laid over 2,000 years ago. Via Appia Antica is where Spartacus and his army of 6,000 men were all crucified along Via Appia Antica. Julius Caesar walked the streets of Via Appia Antica along with the Apostle Paul. So when you walk down this road, you're walking down one of the most historical roads in the entire world. Now, you've heard the term, all roads lead to Rome. That actually originated from Via Appia Antica. From the Via Appia Antica, there's many other roads that fanned out from there. So really all roads led to Via Appia Antica, and then Via Appia Antica led right into Rome. There's still statues and remnants and castles and ruins along the way. In my opinion, the best way to see Via Appia Antica is to walk it like the people of old did. Walk it like the Apostle Paul, or like Caesar, or Spartacus. Where are you guys from?
Oh, I'm from Germany.
I'm from Poland.
From Poland. You've been walking a long time?
I'm walking 2 years.
2 years. When you started, your beard was short?
Yes, as you.
It looks awesome, man. You look like, you know, authentic. Well, they came into our life, and just like that, they walk out. So next time you're in Rome, I really hope you consider visiting Via Appia Antica. I think you're gonna create a day in your life that you'll never forget if you do. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. And to the next one, alla prossima, ciao.
You and I know the easy does it. I want real meaning, no easy love. If I wait in your time, will it be enough? I've been thirsting for answers, I'm looking up. God, I know you're my portion, please fill my cup. You said that you meant that I ain't giving up.